Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Pipe Bomb Sessions. This past week of Raw was very interesting. Past week of SmackDown was pretty interesting. Even last week of Raw was interesting going into the SmackDown. I think Clash at Paris is definitely, obviously, a full go. But not only that, we have a lot of matches already being set up, I feel like things are looking good for Clash of Paris, in my opinion. We had a few matches that are already confirmed, and I believe we're going to have quite a few more that are going to get confirmed pretty damn soon, in my opinion. And I don't know, the card for it ain't looking bad whatsoever. It's shaping up to be a good one, a hell of a banger, as my boy Sheamus says, right? Now, a matchup that is not confirmed yet. I think will get confirmed either on SmackDown this week or possibly next week. Even though, unfortunately, the challenger here is not going to get a win or the WWE title. But the champ, Cody Rhodes, he needs someone to face at Clash at Paris. Now, I think this could actually work because he's going to face Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre took Cody out last week, right? This could be the hints of, hey, Cody's a little banged up, hurt. Eventually, when they go into their matchup at Clash, maybe Cody's on the verge of losing and steals one type of thing, gets a quick one over on Drew, and that sets up possibly a rematch in the future or something like that. But, Drew, on how his character has been built, he's over getting screwed over. He's just over this. He gets screwed over time and time again, and he's like, yo, are you guys kidding me right now? This is ridiculous, right? Now, that's interesting to me because Drew may just get outsmarted with a quick roll-up win, even. Maybe not a decisive, definitive win or loss against Cody. But I think Cody does get taken out after that because he has to go film the Street Fighter movie, of course, right? So he's going to need some time off. What better way to have a pissed off Scottish psychopath, Drew McIntyre, totally take the champ out? Champ, obviously, quote unquote, gets injured and we don't see him for a while, possibly. I have no problem with that. Like, it would make sense. Good way to write off Cody until the time is right for him to come back. And I don't know. I just feel like that's how the right things should be. And you can also not have, you cannot have Cody kind of just dominate and win. Of course, we know he's not going to lose a title after a freaking month, right? We know that no matter what. However, do we definitely know that he's going to be still around immediately after? No. I also don't believe that either, though. Now, something else that I believe got confirmed for Clash of Paris on SmackDown was Logan Paul facing Mr. You Can't See Me, John Cena. Now, I will admit, this is something or someone I did not think was going to be part of Cena's farewell tour. Like, that just kind of just threw me off. John Cena, one of his boys or one of his guys that he wanted to face, or allegedly, I heard that Cena saying that, he hasn't been facing any of his opponents. It's all been freaking Triple H, TKO, and WWE. So I don't know which side to believe. I guess I'll go with the C Nation. But what do you call it? I think personally that Cena and Logan Paul could be a good matchup. Cena should win that without a problem. I do believe this is where we see Brock Lesnar show up again to take out Cena. Maybe just come out there after the match, leave Cena laying, maybe even give F5 to Logan Paul, who thinks Brock's out there for him. Brock's out there for Brock. Let's get this right freaking now, all right, guys? He's not out there for anybody else. He's not out there to make friends with anybody else. He's out there because Cena's his target and he wants him next. Question is, when are him and Cena gonna face? There's no PLE as of right now. Today's me speaking to you guys for September. So it'll happen in Perth in October. However, do keep hearing rumors that there's going to be an unnamed PLE happening in September. I believe it'll be Bad Blood. Bad Blood. I mean, guys, that I don't think I don't think there's any other pay-per-view to do it on. I mean, Bad Blood, the name of it goes straight into rivalry with Brock Lesnar and John Cena. That's what they can freaking duel it out. Hopefully give us another good matchup between the two. And Cena gets another tally on who he faced on his farewell tour. I will say that. It's not a bad idea. I just didn't expect to see, Lesnar just completely gone. I did hear Lesnar will be back in September, like early September-ish area. So I will not be surprised by that. But it'd be cool to see him come after at Clash of Paris. So that's if he's in Paris, of course. So that's definitely a confirmed matchup for Clash of Paris. Obviously on SmackDown we saw the MFTs win against Motor City Machine Guns. Looks like Solo's group's going after the SmackDown tag title. It's gonna be interesting to see them versus the Wide Six, I think, going forward. Maybe this is how Uncle Howdy gets integrated more from beyond just the leader and just kind of the dark aura presence, rather than maybe I would like to see Uncle Howdy more in the ring and into matches. That'd be pretty cool. I have no problem with that. Finally, I think we're seeing a Julia matchup at some point. That woman's US title has just gone nowhere, unfortunately. I just don't understand why. I don't understand what makes the difference between them pushing that title versus the same exact title, but on the Raw side, that you're pushing the women's IC title, right? So this is pretty big. I just don't understand why Julia is. I like her. She's popular with the fans. She's not a bad wrestler whatsoever. She got called up quickly with Stephanie Vaquer for a reason, right? So why are you not utilizing her, especially giving her the US title almost immediately when she came up to the roster? I don't know. Something just feels off. Um, it was just something that to me personally didn't really make sense as much. Now, speaking of the women's IC title, of course, we have that matchup. I think that matchup, not officially confirmed, but is going to be Becky Lynch versus Nikki Bella for the women's IC title. Probably see Nikki return next week. Get some kind of revenge situation going on Becky. Becky, of course, defended her title and then got into a little thing with Natalya after the match because she defended against Maxine. That was interesting. I do like, again, I think Becky's title reign has been well done. I think the IC women's title reigns that they've had so far have all been pretty well done, in my opinion. I don't really see it going in a wrong or bad or opposite direction, right? That's very interesting to me. Speaking of the MFTs earlier, right? They showed up tonight, or they showed up on Raw, and they attacked Sami Zayn. And of course, it seems like now Sami Zayn is back into the MFT / Bloodline vortex, which I thought, because of the conversations he was having, the push he was having, that he was going to get elevated possibly. I really hope he doesn't get stuck in the mid card again, unless they want to delay Sami doing it. My early prediction for the Royal Rumble next year is still Sami Zayn winning it and then going on to WrestleMania to get that win he's been looking for his entire career. Makes sense to me. Speaking of the guy who's looking for a win against someone, that's AJ Styles, the phenomenal one. And he's looking to get that IC title off of Dirty Dom. I think he does get his shot. The question is, when will he get that shot? See, I could see him getting it at Clash at Paris, but I could also see them waiting and delaying it until they want to maybe possibly give him a shot at that unnamed PLE, if that does become official. Of course, we need a few things to go on before I keep saying that's happening and all that stuff. However, Dirty Dom outsmarted AJ again on Raw to get a quick victory type of deal. AJ is going to take that title off of him. It's just a matter of when, I believe, at this point. I don't know when that's actually going to happen. I think there's a lot of things going on where it comes to AJ Styles. Obviously, we know that he said that he might be retiring. Very, very low key. He said that pretty much this was his last SummerSlam. I expect his next Mania to be last Mania. He might be even retiring at Mania if he's not gonna go the whole 2026. Never know, man. I know he debuted in January of 2016, but obviously he's not gonna retire in January. He'll get to Mania and then he'll possibly or most likely retire and call it a career then. It will be crazy to see who his final opponent is. I can't even imagine. He's had so many good feuds and rivalries throughout his entire career in all the different places that he's fought. So it could really be anyone. It could be someone that's not even in WWE currently. Maybe someone that WWE wants to bring up for AJ. You never know. I think he gets a good farewell pop off. Um, we'll probably see more of his getting into effect after December, beginning of January, because of John Cena. I think obviously being gone and retired and his farewell tour being over. So that is where I think AJ's kind of his farewell tour for like 4 months starts, and I do believe he retires at WrestleMania next year. You heard it here for first, folks. An interesting story that's developing is the Kabuki Warriors and Io Sky. Now, it seems like they want to keep helping Io, trying to be backstage, and Io, obviously, tonight, when she was facing Roxanne, told them she doesn't need their help. They came out, tried helping Io. It backfired. Io got rolled up, 1, 2, 3. She was heated. Then, backstage, as she's arguing with them, Asuka pushes her, and Kairi Sane, a little upset, goes with Asuka, and boom, that's that. We see Rhea then show up, telling Io, can you even trust the Kabuki Warriors? And Io obviously didn't like that coming from Rio. Like, hey, stay out of it, stay out of my business. Like, who you talking to? Type of deal. Um, I believe that's a big thing that's gonna happen and is going on. Um, I don't know. Personally, I really do feel like I feel like this is maybe a good move. Maybe they're gonna have Rhea and Io team up against the Kabuki Warriors and possibly just kind of have their friendship develop into something further. Obviously, they were already rivals, so they're kind of doing the opposite way: rivals into friends rather than friends into rivals. Um, I see we want to turn the Kabuki Warriors heel, possibly to have more healed women's tag teams. We have a lot of women's tag teams that are heels, I feel like, already. We just need to keep developing these girls, and possibly, maybe, does this mean Rhea and Io are going into the tag division? Then they're the big new babyface team. No problem with it. I do think we get this matchup going on soon. Possibly even starts out with like a Io versus like a Asuka one-on-one matchup that leads into the tag match, or vice versa. Even I would not be opposed to it whatsoever. I think it'll be a good matchup. I was looking forward to Io defending her title originally at SummerSlam against Asuka. That was my prediction. Of course, that didn't happen, and well, Io's not even champ anymore. And speaking of the women's world champ, she was supposed to be facing Io tonight for the women's world title. Now that makes me just think, were the Kabuki Warriors initially going to interfere in that matchup and then cost Io the world title, which would be a much, much bigger deal. Of course, she still lost the matchup, but it would be a much, much bigger deal, in my opinion, if she lost her world woman title opportunity. Now, that's what makes this interesting. I also think that Naomi, the reason why she was medically uncleared suddenly, she hasn't been really tweeting as much or posting on X as much. I don't know. I'm hearing around town that apparently she's pregnant. If she is, congratulations, Naomi, coming from Pipe Bomb Sessions. However, I would not like to spread the false rumors, and I will do more research and get back to you guys, ladies and gentlemen. However, I don't understand how she could have got hurt. Maybe she did find out she was pregnant, and boom, now they kind of like scrambling together to make up plans to what to do next. What are they gonna do? What's the plans going forward? We gotta see in that sense. I don't know what they're gonna do. I know the women's world champ, she will be back soon. Hopefully, she's not actually hurt. If she's pregnant, that's awesome, man. I'm no problem with that. You know, it seems like we're gonna go like the Becky Lynch route from many years ago, where she had to relinquish the title. Maybe she gives the title straight to Stephanie Vauquer and tells her like, "Hey, I'll be back to come get my title that I never lost." Would not have a problem with that at all. Actually, I think Naomi's been a workhorse since she's been in the WWE. She's elevated herself every single way. She elevated herself again this year by turning heel, and then just this character I think has been awesome for her. Overall, Naomi has done well for what she's done throughout her career. I like it. Boom, that's awesome. Now, another matchup that was confirmed after the main event on Raw was, so we had CM Punk, LA Knight teaming up against Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker. Of course, Seth comes out at some point, interrupts. Jey Uso then comes out. Mr. Yeet himself, Yeet, comes out for the save. And then they start brawling, clear the ring out. Adam Pearce, he's like, you know what, Seth, you're going to be in a fatal 4-way match. Your world title, Clash at Paris, you, Jay, Punk, LA Knight. Of course, Seth is not losing the title here. He's going to hold that title for quite some time, in my opinion. I don't know who takes the pin. It could be, unfortunately, Mr. Yeet, Jey Uso. And you would think the guys who just got added into the Fatal 4-Way would be like, dope, that, we're in a match. But unfortunately, it seems like they are a little pissed off and they start brawling with each other. The Vision gets back in the ring, takes advantage, and takes all three men out. Not surprised by this. I see Bronson Reed again attacks Jay like that. He attacks everybody, but Jay specifically took the tsunami. I think this is the setup for Roman getting involved again next week. Makes his return, confronts Bronson Reed, and Bronson Reed's he's calling himself the tribal thief because he keeps stealing his shoes, Roman Reigns. So I think that's why this is the setup for Clash at Paris. Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed. It makes sense. I like it. Maybe you have him face Bronson, then you have him face Braun Breaker, then eventually he can go after Rollins. Kind of like going through the totem pole type of situation. I have no problem with that. Now, I told you guys all the matches that have been made official, as well as some of the matches that I thought that could be made official soon. So, I think Clash of Paris is not looking bad at all. Maybe we see more wild stuff happen than we're expecting. I fully expect the Tribal Chief to also be involved when it comes to Clash at Paris. I fully expect, honestly, maybe, I don't know if he'll win, because he also has the movie, guys. So my thing is, if he's not going to win, what's going to happen with that, right? So let's sit back and find out. Something I want to touch base on, of course, ESPN made that deal for WWE PLEs coming to them in 2026. I don't know if it's for better or worse. Obviously, worse is because we are going to be paying a lot more just for WWE PLEs and some old school stuff. Okay. It gets better because ESPN, in my opinion, is a bigger name. And because of that, I believe, personally, is that, I don't know, I think that ESPN servers are going to run well. There's not going to be any lagging issues, no streaming issues, because Peacock did have that quite a bit. Sometimes Peacock would not be synced the right way, or whatever the situation. I just feel like all those little nitpicking things, they're going to be eliminated. So that's one positive I look at. I don't like to look at all the negatives. Hey, there's a reason why TKO, WWE agreed to ESPN. There's a reason why even that price set is set at that price. They must know that they'll have quality fans. And if they don't, of course, we'll see adjustments. Man, guys, don't we all miss that WWE network now? It's wild, right? What a crazy, crazy different time now. But overall, guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in this week as usual. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.